Hey besties, if I had a pound for how many times someone has asked whether they should do nursing or social work, I would have been a millionaire by now because okay, now let's get right into it. So I'm going to be using 5 criteria to talk about nursing and social work. First things first, this is not a profession war. In this video, I'm definitely not saying one is better than the other because to be fair, they are both very similar. However, because I've had a lot of DMs based on the confusion of people, I hope this video will clarify that for you. Now, for context, I am a social worker, so you can take whatever I say with a pinch of salt because you could say there may be a little bit of a bias, or actually not. Now, my target audience in this video are Africans, Asians, or other minor ethnicities that want to come to the UK to study either nursing or social work profession. Now, of course, if you do not belong to this target audience, that's okay. You are highly welcome. But just so you can understand my perspective. Now, that being said, the first thing we'll look at is in terms of sponsorship, because let's be sincere, if you are my target audience, you would know that you need a valid work visa to even work in this country. And of course, to get that, you need a job that can sponsor you. And when people ask me between nursing and social work, which one has a higher sponsorship opportunity, I am always confused as to what to say. They are both very high in demand course. In fact, if you want to know a high in demand course, especially in the health and social care sector, look at courses like nursing, social work, physiotherapy, occupational therapy. I don't know why a lot of people just focus on nursing. They don't realize that there are other aspects that you would absolutely get jobs in. So that being said, if you ask me to pick one that will be better in terms of sponsorship, I will still tell you they are both on the same level. But if there is and you tell me, okay, you must pick one now, I would actually pick nursing. Now, I don't have statistics to back it up, but obviously there's a reason why nursing is a popular profession, because they're actually quite high in demand. Of course, just like social workers, but as I said, if I had to pick one, then I would just pick nursing. But if you're a social worker, see, you have no reason to do post-study visa. There is no reason why a social worker in the UK is doing post-study visa unless you maybe, I'm trying to even look for the reason. There is none, because I was trying to say that maybe you don't want to stay in the UK permanently, but then the money you will spend, or I would say waste as a social worker on post-study visa, why can't you just use it to get sponsorship? Because one thing about being sponsored either as a nurse or a social worker is that it is so cheap, both for the company sponsoring you and even for you. And when I say cheap, I'm comparing it to you being sponsored on a normal skilled worker visa. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, when you're sponsored, you would most likely be under the skilled worker visa, and for that you'd have to pay your visa fee and your IHS fee. But if you are a nurse or a social worker, and to be fair, a lot of other healthcare related profession, you would not need to pay any IHS fee. But that's not just all. Your visa would be under the health and care visa, which is cheaper than the regular skilled worker visa. So for a lot of organizations sponsoring nurses and social workers, it costs them very little to nothing to sponsor you. Some of them will just give you your certificate of sponsorship and you go and pay for your visa. And because of how affordable it is compared to the skilled worker visa, it is not expensive. And that's the reason why generally when you do any of the courses that I've mentioned, like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, all of these courses, it is easy for you to get sponsorship. And if you're applying to jobs and you're not getting any interview invite, then the problem is not the profession, it's the fact that your CV is bad. And if you're getting interview invite and you're not getting any job, the answer is you do not know how to interview. Because once you are a nurse or a social worker, a lot of NHS trusts and councils will sponsor. Now, I did not say all, but I said a lot. Now, if you're a social worker and you want me to make a separate video about councils and NHS trusts that I'm sure sponsors, you can drop it in the comment section and I would consider making that video. So that's it about visa sponsorship. Now the second thing on our list is in terms of salary, because money ego kudi oh. Now in terms of money or the salary, let me make it clear that no amount of money they will pay you will be commensurate to the job you do. So if you want to be a nurse or a social worker because of money, I think you are in the wrong profession, because the money you will get as salary would never, quote me anywhere, especially in this UK, it will not be commensurate to the job you do. And that's why for the most part, nurses and social workers are professionals that have a heart for the job. You have a heart, a passion for humanity. But that being said, if you want to compare, if you ask me, in my own opinion, who earns more, I would say clearly that social workers earn more than nurses. And this is something that some people can argue about. When it comes to salary comparison, I don't even think it's a black and white answer. Cause maybe I should have even said this earlier than what I said, because your salary depends on different things. There are different types of nurses and different types of social workers. The type or the team that you are in will determine your pay. Because for instance, the pay of a children's social worker is not the same thing as that of an adult social worker. The pay of an adult nurse is not the same as that of maybe a pediatric nurse. It is not the same. Well, a lot of time differences are not much, but they are not the same amount of money. Also, location plays a huge part. You can't compare someone living in London to be earning the same amount of money that someone that lives in Nottingham or Lincoln will be earning. It cannot be the same. So someone in London will definitely earn more. Also, your grade matters, because when I was trying to research on this salary thing, there were lots of conflicting information, but me saying social workers earn more is based on my own experience. That's why I can't even argue about that one, because I know what I'm seeing. Although, when I was making my research, I realized that whilst a lot of newly qualified social workers make more money than a newly qualified nurse, I think as you rise in experience, a lot of nurses would end up making more money than social workers. So even to answer this thing about salary, I would still say they are very similar. We work together. So even the salary difference may be like £2,000 annually as a difference. So I don't think difference is much regardless. So by the way, if you are a nurse and you do not agree with anything I'm saying, that's okay. We can have civil conversations. You can put it in the comment section. In fact, I would love to do a collaboration with a nurse, because I don't like talking about something I don't have authority in. When it comes to nursing, I don't have authority in it. When it comes to social work, my authority is based on my own experiences. I can't even give a blanket rule or statement and say I'm an expert in social work. Even as a social worker, I'm still learning. So if you are a nurse and you would like us to do a collaboration, please send me an email or reach out to me on Instagram, because I would actually love to have a nurse over on this channel, because I'm talking, they're also talking from their own point of view, because the way I see things may be significantly different from how a nurse would view it. So that's it. Now the third point, and by the way, if you're enjoying this video, I want to see a like clicked. Alright, so the third point is in terms of stress level. See this one, even if there is and you say pick the one that is harder, I would say they are both on the same pedestal. If you are looking for a profession that will be roses and sunshine, that would have no element of stress, I think you should not consider either nursing or social work. And this is coming from me that, see, I love reading, I love books, I love work, I have a strong work ethic. However, you will work, you will work. As a social worker, let me tell you, you will work. Now, it's very fulfilling work, to be fair, because you're making a significant impact in someone's life. And of course, I also know that as a nurse, you are making a significant impact in someone's life, but you will work. you will work. A lot of NHS trust and local authorities are short-staffed. Now, going back to the first point I made about sponsorship jobs, this is the reason why you get jobs, because both for nursing and social work, they need people like every time, they always employ. The fact that a lot of organizations are short staffed should tell you that there is work to be done. But not just that, the fact that you are dealing with people's lives, you should know that there would be an element of stress to both jobs. Because I used to say that social work, let me speak for social work now, is not a 9 to 5 job. Your job description can tell you 9 to 5, but it's a lie. Especially if you are a community social worker. Once they've allocated a case to you, it's not 9 to 5. Oh, it can be 9 to 5 in your job description, but there are some days you would exceed that. Now, of course, you should use boundaries. If not, you will burn out, and that's why the burnout rate, even for both professions, can be quite high because it's a lot. But the point is, you are dealing with people's lives in both professions. Unlike, I remember when I was a support worker, let's assume that my work time was 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Once it's 8 p.m., see, I'm done. Because there is another person taking over my shifts. Unless in rare occasions where maybe the person or the people to take over come late or something, that's different. But otherwise, once it's 8 p.m., in fact, once it's some minutes to 8 p.m., everybody's already packing to go. But not social work. Not social work. Because once you've been allocated, it's the same with nursing. Nurses, they work a lot. Like, the work is a lot. So I don't even know which one to pick as the harder one. I think it just depends. Because I know that for social work, the paperwork and admin duties is a lot. I think for nursing, you do a lot more hands-on work, practical work. And that is emotionally, physically, mentally tasking. And of course, the higher you rise, the more job you get. Now, it may be more salary, but as I said, it can never be commensurate. Your salary can never be commensurate to the work you do. And before I even go on, let me just say that if you are watching me and you are a social worker or you are a nurse, see, give yourself a round of applause. I am so proud of you, because it's not easy, and a lot of times we don't get people to give us that pat on the back, because the work is go, go, go. So unless maybe when you are in supervision, and there are people that even their supervision is still go, 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 it's a lot. So if you're coming to the profession, I don't want this to be me telling you it's all gloom. No, there are good days and there are bad days. But I will not just act like, oh, it's all roses and sunshine, because it is not. So for this part, I don't know which one to pick. If you know, you can put it in the comment section and we can discuss about it further. Now, the fourth point is the entry pathway, and I'll focus on masters because that's the pathway I came in through. I know that for social work, it is 2 years masters, and for nursing, it is 3 years. I was talking to someone regarding the nursing pathway, and the person was complaining that for nursing as a Nigerian back home, you would have to write IELTS. And the person wanted to switch from nursing to social work mainly because of that. And I told the person, go back. Because for social work, you have to write an English exam. It's compulsory. So I realized that nursing and social work, they have very similar entry pathways into the country. They are both high in demand. So to get an offer, you know that you tried, you will do a lot of work to even get an offer. I'll be making another video where I would intensively, comprehensively talk about social work and the pathway. But the point is, for both professions, they are regulated. So for nursing, the board is the Nursing and Midwifery Council, NMC, and for social work is Social Work England. So they both keep a register. Now, through the master's route, the easier one to get into in terms of timing would be social work, because social work 2 years and you're now a social worker. So to be a social worker, you either have to have done social work in your bachelor's level, or in your master's level. So that's that. Now, the fifth thing we'll be considering is in terms of your skills. Because when I've had people ask me about nursing and social work, I always draw them back to themselves. What skills do you have? Or what experiences do you have? Don't just come and do a course because you think you get a job so quick. Do you even have passion? If not, you will not last. In fact, people that have passion still don't last because it's a lot. Then now you don't even have passion. For instance, if you are more science oriented, I think nursing should be the pathway for you because nursing is more clinical. Now, of course, there are non-clinical aspects of nursing because there are various types of nursing. We have adult nursing, which is the most popular, I think, amongst my target audience. I think the job prospects there is quite high. We have mental health nursing, pediatric nursing, learning disability nursing, and the likes. For social work, we have adult social work, children's social work, mental health social work, hospice social work, school social work, forensic social work. Is just a joke. So before you pick, look at where your skills align. For instance, I'm a lawyer, and a lot of people that have asked about nursing or social work are lawyers. And if you ask me, as a lawyer, which one would you pick? 100% without even debate or thinking, social work. Because social work is extremely broad. With social work, you can be different things. In fact, you do not even need to look for jobs that only have social worker. You can get a lot of jobs as a social worker that the job description is not even social worker, because the things they teach you in school, the experience, the skills you would learn, you can apply it in different places. A social worker can work anywhere. So as a lawyer, if you are thinking of which of the ones to pick, I will tell you to pick social work. That one I don't even shake, because you can be a forensic social worker. You can work in the courts. You can be an advocate, an independent advocate. You can be anything. You can be a safeguarding lead. So look at the skills and experiences you possess and link it to either nursing or social work. But in all, they are both very similar, and that's why we work together. We have these multidisciplinary meetings where all health and social care professionals liaise with one another. Now, I've said a lot, but if you still have a question and you feel like maybe I've not addressed it because it's peculiar to your own situation, then I would highly encourage you to book a one-on-one session with me. The link is in the description box and in the banner of my channel. Book a session and make a decision about your future. Now, in everything I've said, if you have opinions or you want us to go deeper in some parts, drop your comments and let's talk in the comment section. I'm going to be linking up a video about interview questions and answers if you want to study masters in social work. You don't have to do this alone. I am here to support you the best way I can. So watch that video after this, and I'm going to see you, my loves, in the next one. Until next time, stay happy, remain blessed, and mwah.